Brent Gendra voted for President Trump 3 times because he believed in cracking down on illegal immigration. And then ICE agents handcuffed his own wife at an airport. The New York Times reports that his wife, Galina Bobroneva, a Russian national with a pending green card application, was detained last month at the Burbank airport. Now, Gendra says that he never expected this. He thought the crackdown targeted criminals, not people who entered legally and married an American. Now, his wife had entered on a tourist visa, applied for asylum, and was already fingerprinted for a green card when agents pulled her aside and drove her away. Her case is part of a new front in the crackdown: airport arrests of immigrants with pending cases and no criminal record. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says that a pending application, whether for a green card, asylum, anything else, does not protect anyone from arrest, as the Trump administration pushes daily arrests towards 2,000. Bobroneva spent a night on a cell floor in Los Angeles and then 2 weeks at a desert center with broken showers and detainees who were denied medical care. Gendra now says that he lives in fear in his own country, and he's not alone, since some Trump voters are turning against ICE's tactics as the case becomes a political liability ahead of the midterms. Bobroneva is free today because a lawyer secured a bond hearing and got her out on a $35,000 bond with an ankle monitor. Her next hearing is in October, and the outcome will probably turn on the same thing that already got her out of detention: not who you vote for, but whether you have a lawyer who knows how to fight and win. I'm Brian Manning, and if you need help with an asylum case, please send me the word consult in a direct message.
I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Ganon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again, not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez-Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
When you saw that unfold, what went through your mind?
Well, I was just in total disbelief.
According to her immigration lawyer, Suarez-Reyes came to the U.S. legally in 2023 and later applied for asylum, a case that is still ongoing. But her underlying permission to be in the U.S. has lapsed.
Some people may say this is what mass deportations look like.
They're not going after the hard guys. That's too difficult. It's easier to pick them up at the airport. You know, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Suarez-Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here, help us!
Back in Texas, Ganon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold. Love Jasmine. That's it. Go pick the criminals up, you know? Leave the family members alone.
He says he voted to deport criminals, and then ICE detained his fiancée here at Bush Airport.
Couldn't believe it was happening.
J1 here with KPRC. John Ganon tells me he and his fiancée, Yasmin Suarez-Reyes, were headed to Las Vegas on July 24th when 8 ICE officers swarmed his fiancée at the airport. Suarez-Reyes is a citizen of both Venezuela and Spain. Her court petition says she entered the U.S. in October 2023 through the visa waiver program, and it was authorized until January 2024. She filed for asylum 2 days before that window closed. That application is still pending.
So why would ICE have arrested her?
I honestly have no idea. To the extent that they're claiming it might be because she overstayed her visa permission back in 2023, well, the law gives her every right to do that.
She tells me her client also had a valid work permit and a Texas driver's license. She was also preparing to file a green card application through her marriage with Ganon. She also filed a U visa application because her attorney says she's a victim of a crime.
There are people on the right who will say, well, she didn't have a legal right to be in this country. What would you say to that?
I would say I'm a lifelong registered Republican and a board certified immigration lawyer, and that's incorrect.
Kennedy says what we're seeing now is unprecedented. A DHS official told NBC News that ICE is now making 20 to 40 arrests per day at the airports. That's compared to less than 10 in May of last year. I asked ICE about arrests at airports. A spokesperson told me, quote, "For years, the media sat silently while the prior administration allowed illegal aliens, and they called the enforcement activities routine."
What do you have to say to those people who say you voted for this?
I didn't vote for that. I mean, I voted for, get the criminals out.
Suarez Reyes is being held at the Montgomery Processing Center. Her attorney is now asking a federal judge to release her.
This Trump supporter on CBS News in an interview says he's like a Texas billion businessman or whatever. He goes, "I've never had this happen to me before."
Nothing like this has ever happened to me.
It didn't happen to you. It happened to your girlfriend or your wife. She was obviously Latino. She was a Latino chick that you guys, honestly, you all don't match. I don't give a f. You know why she was with you, and you know why you was with her. I'm just saying, he couldn't believe, this Trump supporter couldn't believe that his Latin wife, maybe Mexican wife, got snatched the f up by ICE.
I feel totally betrayed. I mean, you never think, or I never thought a guy like me would ever be involved in anything like this.
What did you think was going to happen? Huh? What did you think was going to happen? What did you think? You supported this, and now your fetish has been taken away. A lot of y'all amaze me. Now I'm saying fetish to be comical. You probably actually loved her, but a lot of you all, you have these ethnic girlfriends, and you vote for some of the most racist policies on the planet, but you still want to pork brown and black people though at the same time, and then you get surprised when it happens to them. But they didn't snatch you up. So I'm trying to feel bad, but I'm just going, scratching my chin. And if any of you come in my comments going, "Love is love," go f*** off. You know what I'm talking about. Don't come with that Hallmark bullshit. Love is love. You never know. Shut the f*** up. He voted for this shit, and he's surprised. Now, if your girlfriend was white, nothing would have happened. But some of you Trump supporting, and I don't know if this man is racist. I don't know that. He's probably a good guy. But more than likely, these be the ones that go, "Get these out of my neighborhood." But then they sleeping next to the same motherfucker that you took off the roof, sleeping with his sister. That's all I'm saying. You guys give me your opinion. This is going to be hilarious.
Hey, so let's talk about that old Texas businessman that had his wife taken away by ICE. So recently, John Ganon talked to the news about how his wife, who was Venezuelan, was taken by ICE. And he directly blames this administration for what happened to him and his wife. Here's the thing, though. He was a staunch Republican who voted for Trump. And to the astonishment of no one except John Ganon and CBS News for some reason, his Venezuelan trophy wife was taken away from him. And now wealthy businessman John Ganon is reaping the consequences of his actions. And I say that because I really don't have any sympathy for him, because he voted for this. Like, you wanted stricter immigration laws and enforcement, and that's exactly what happened. Because here's the thing about systematic law enforcement, is that it applies to everyone, especially to the people you consider good or bad. His wife didn't have the proper paperwork, and ICE detained her. That's it. So I guess the lesson here for John Ganon is that maybe he shouldn't vote purely on how he feels. Anyways, I just want to talk about that a little bit, so cheers.
I have another sad story, ladies and gentlemen. 2 Trump supporters separated because of ICE.
Please get her home. Please, she does not deserve this. She's the sweetest person, and she prayed for you. It's been 8 months. I didn't know a man could cry this much. I did not think that this would happen.
Wayne Deario has been working overtime at a Southwest Miami-Dade guitar shop, trying to distract himself from his pain and regret.
I hate to see her going through this. She's my best friend.
His life partner of nearly 20 years, Yamile Alcantu, originally from Cuba. ICE detained her back in June.
8 months that she's been taken. I call it kidnapped because it basically is.
He says it happened during what they thought was just another immigration check-in.
They grabbed her, put her in shackles and chains.
She'd been checking in annually, as so many do, hoping to fix her status. She lost her legal residency and got a deportation order back in 2008 after a traffic stop.
They go through her purse, and then they dump the purse out, and 3 Xanax pills fall out.
But in those years, he says, they didn't think much of it.
Cuban's not going to get deported, so don't worry about it.
Today, DHS has her listed among the worst of the worst, a criminal arrested for dangerous drugs in possession. Wayne feels it's a slap in the face.
I didn't vote for this, but I definitely voted Republican.
He says both were staunch supporters of President Trump.
When you said I didn't vote for this, what did you think you had voted for?
I really thought this was just going to be something organized, but it's obviously not. They just blanket everybody.
Alcantu calling from her detention facility in Louisiana. She says in her 8 months detained, she has not seen an immigration judge.
This is what you voted for, Wayne.
There are going to be people out there who hear your story, hear other stories like this, and say, well, you voted for this.
Yeah, I've heard that from people.
What do you tell those people?
I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was going to happen. This is about human beings. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong.
And it really bothers me that now that it's happening to you, all of a sudden, you have some sort of compassion now and you really understand. Now, under normal conditions, I'd be very understanding and compassionate. But like I said, the most dangerous thing in this country is an uninformed, uneducated, self-hating Trump supporter. Because you go into the voting booth and literally nuke yourselves. And then you want us to help bail you out of this national crisis we're in. You and her need to go.
What's going on, troops? I want to introduce you to a couple of people. Bradley Bartell and Camila Munoz. These two just recently got married. They run off to Puerto Rico, go have a great time. When their honeymoon is over, they come back here to the United States. Unfortunately, ICE was waiting for Camila Munoz. And there were some complications with her visa. There's some overstay issues that awarded her detention in an ICE facility here in the United States. We have warned individuals about how aggressive ICE has become and how that would take shape or an effect underneath this current administration. Yet, people like her ignore particular signs and fall in love with people like this regardless of who they support. Bradley makes a public announcement and states that despite what has happened to his wife, he does not regret his vote or his current support for this administration. That's the first thing that had come out of his mouth while his wife is being detained by ICE.
Once again, I want to show y'all how stupid Trump supporters are. This is Bradley and Camila. How do you marry someone that's an immigrant and then you vote for somebody that doesn't like immigrants? Trump still got his wife, but he took your wife away from you. Melania's still up in the White House, and now you don't know where your wife is. Why do you Republican men marry foreign women and then try to take foreign women's rights away? I don't understand that. You love America so much, marry an American woman. Oh, but you thought Trump was going to be easy on you and he wasn't going to take your wife away. You thought Trump was going to give you a pass? Nah, I don't feel bad for you.
I don't want these people here. If I know some guy who is doing illegal things, drugs or whatever, selling drugs or robbing or whatever, I'm going to do that. Call ICE. In my vote, I'm going to be free. I did vote for Donald Trump.
You voted for him. How are you feeling about that vote now?
I feel like what I did for this is like I never did my vote for a guy who is kidnap people, and this is like I feel like stupid because I see that around here, and there is everybody's scared. My brother and his friend, they went to church 9 in the morning in Fullerton, St. Joseph Catholic Church. So they stopped by here to buy something for breakfast. They went to the ATM Chase Bank, and they arrested outside there. And my brother told me they took more people. They didn't ask anything, say, "Oh, you're a citizen," and they refused to talk. And then they basically pulling out from the car. That happened last Sunday. I'm already trying to call the number from ICE for see. I don't know anything. There is no results. I don't know where is my brother. I tried to talk with the Mexican consular, and they told me it's part of the process because they're gonna deport him to Mexico. But still, it's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. And my brother, he's in this country, hard working for over 20 years. No criminal, 100% sure no criminal. I can put my name on it. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I can put my name on it. He doesn't have any criminal. I know he used to have like no insurance ticket around just in Madison Police Department, but he doesn't have any felony. He doesn't have anything. He just 57 years old, hard worker, just try to make a better life. Edison is maybe 30-40% Hispanic, but we don't have criminals here. If we have criminals, I get it. Go get them. Go get them. We don't want criminals here. We don't want criminals. And I don't know, the guy from the store maybe told you the same. If I know criminal people, I call ICE. I do by myself. I don't want these people here. If I know some guy who is doing illegal things, drugs or whatever, selling drugs or robbing or whatever, I'm going to do that. Call ICE. Because I don't want the people in my neighborhood.
Well, I mean, would you actually call ICE? Would you trust their judgment now that you've seen that they're taking people like your brother?
No, but let's say I don't want. If they do the right way, his work, okay, they're going to the criminals. I get it, because I don't want criminals here. I have kids, but they are not doing that.
Wow, I really missed out on a lot of detainment ICE FAFO stories last week. Who have a lot to catch up on. Now, before anyone writes in the comments saying these stories are old, I know, especially the one with Bradley and Camila, and I think his name is Wayne, the guitar guy, and his wife. Those I think are from last year, but I wanted to include those just in case anyone who may run across this video hadn't seen them. I came across them again and was reminded by them in my search. So I included them in here because why not? They all fall under the same umbrella. So I included them. This is what happens when you think you are invincible. I had to bet on it. I bet each and every one of the people in these stories thought that there was no way that they would be affected by this because they felt like, oh, I voted for him. My wife, my girlfriend is my brother. They're all good. There's no way that they would come and find somebody that's related or is a member of my family. Absolutely no way. But sadly, they are very much mistaken. And just to put it out there first, the Wayne guy, the guy with the guitars, and his wife, that they both supported this, oh, she could stay in there. I am so sorry, but not sorry. She could stay in there because whenever the actual immigrant spouse or relative, however you want to put it, supports it as well, not to mention like the husband or wife that's the American citizen, oh, I could give 0 F's about what happens. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but you wanted this to happen to other people that were in your own circumstance. You thought that since you were married to a white man that you were going to be invincible and you wanted to go along with him and support it. You could stay detained. I am so sorry about it, but not really, because y'all always want to be like, oh, I support him too, along with my husband, along with my wife. But then when it comes to y'all being picked up, you want to cry and do interviews and feel sad. Oh, I don't have a pillow to sleep on. I got to lay on the floor. The lights are on. I do not feel bad. And for that first story with Ginger, that's the one that came out most recently. I want to say maybe over the weekend or like Friday or something. I need more information on his wife or girlfriend or whatever, because I don't know. It kind of gives that they may have both been supporting it too, but I don't know. And that's the thing they fail to realize, these husbands that voted for this, is that y'all want to come up on here and be so selfish when you know you lay next to someone who's not fully a citizen yet. Their paperwork and the process is not complete yet. But yet again, you thought you were invincible. There's no way that this could happen. And look at the situation that y'all are in. And I agree with Godfrey and Tommy, both of them, what they said, because it's true. And you could kind of put this hand in hand with the business owners like Mario and Chef Creole. These men want to have their cake and eat it too, because they want to vote for the racism. They want all of what's happening to other people. But now that it's hitting a little close to home, they all want to come out and start being, feeling betrayed that their wives and girlfriends got picked up. It was only supposed to be the criminals. You notice how a lot of them are starting to say, I thought it was the criminals. No, I don't believe that anymore. Now that I'm hearing more and more of these stories, I kind of feel like now that y'all are coming on TV and y'all are telling your stories, I don't believe that anymore, because you were probably one of the ones watching Fox News every night, hearing them talk about and disparage against immigrants. And not just all criminals. They speaking of anyone who's undocumented. Don't play like it was just criminals, which is super ironic, because I'm hearing more stories of people, like innocent people, being rounded up, which is crazy. I'm barely hearing of actual criminals being detained and then deported, which is hilarious to me, because that's what y'all swear y'all thought y'all were getting so badly. Y'all want to take advantage of, like I said, for the business owner side, y'all want to take advantage of immigrant labor, but yet y'all voted, when all of the people in FAFO videos, and most recently like Mario and Chef Creole, y'all wanted to take advantage of that low pay wages that y'all give to immigrants, but yet you didn't even have the wherewithal and the logic to vote accordingly to where you could have protected that, therefore protecting your business. And of course, I am not saying that just because they're immigrants, they deserve to be paid low wages. I disagree with that. But I mean, we know this is what happens in America. People exploit and take advantage of immigrant labor, and then after they leave their job for the day, they could care less what happens. I mean, that's truly what we've been seeing, right? And when it comes to these men, they thought, I want all of those people, all of those immigrants to be taken up, but not my bed partner. No, not my significant other. And that's the other side of the coin. These men want to exploit these women just for them to be satisfied and for them to have a companion. Now, of course, I do not want to be stereotypical, but it's probably going to come out stereotypical. I can't help it, but let's be for real. Jasmine, if she had to choose Jasmine, I'm not sure how you would pronounce her name. It's been pronounced differently all across social media, so I'm just going to call her Yasmin. But if Jasmine had to choose, I am almost for certain that she would not choose this man. A 40-something-year-old woman choosing a 75-year-old man, I highly doubt it. But what probably happened is that this man lured her in with money, and she probably, and I can't blame her. I mean, you're an immigrant. She probably like, this white man loves me or is really likes me or something, and he has the money. Of course, she's gonna try to partner up with you. But again, you voted for this man and thought that, there's no way, because I'm a white man and I voted for him, that he would ever come across and try to get my wife, girlfriend. I don't remember what the clip said she is to him, but got picked up. And now he wants to come on the news and say, I feel betrayed. I never thought that it would happen to someone like me. How did you not think that? Because you are partnered up with an immigrant who, I don't even think she had like all of her documents. I think she She applied for asylum. I'm sorry, y'all, if that's not what happened. I'm kind of getting the stories mixed up. It just goes to show, how did you not think that it could happen to you when you're literally, married to or partnered up or whatever the case may be with an immigrant? They're good enough to be your companion, your wife, your girlfriend, but you don't think of them as humans and think that their other counterparts and people that would be considered their peers deserve the same right. And I'm actually kind of glad the story with Ginger came up, because it's going to show you that it's not just Latin immigrants that are being rounded up. They are taking whoever they can. And it's not just Black immigrants either. They are showing that, hey, even if you come from Russia, you could get the same work. And that's what's more crazy about it. She did everything the right way. She applied for asylum, which from what I heard, I don't know if the clip that I included mentioned it, but I think she was granted that, and she was on the way, literally got fingerprinted for a green card, and was, I'm assuming, almost done with the process. Of course, they didn't mention how long it was going to take, and still got rounded up. So yet this is a person who's going about it, quote unquote, the right way, and still got arrested and detained. Now, thankfully for her, I don't know, maybe if it's because of California or whatever the case may be, she was able to bond out. But what else happened? She has to wear an ankle monitor. So what does that mean? Does she have to remain on house arrest or within like a certain radius? I don't know, but it just goes to show you they do not care who you are. You could be almost done with the process. You could have applied for asylum. Every Trump supporter is claiming they want to see everybody doing it the right way, but not even doing it the right way is protecting people out here. You voted to spite your own loved ones, your own wives, girlfriends, partners. Again, they're good enough to think of your companions and to use for sexual gratification, child. I don't know, the 75-year-old man, I don't even know if at that age he able to do anything. No offense, I'm just saying. But they're good enough for that. But in all other aspects, you don't think they deserve rights. It's just all about the criminals, Very interesting to me, but we'll see how that works out. Let's see how long y'all are going to have to deal with having to find where they're at, trying to get lawyers and everything. But I don't feel bad for these men at all, because now that it hits close to home, you see what it's like. They're picking up regular, innocent immigrants more than they are the criminals that y'all wanted to have out so bad. I hate to tell y'all, but there's always going to be criminals. Now, of course, do we just want to deliberately let people in that have records or have done bad things in their countries? Of course not. But y'all make it seem like Democrats were wanting to just let everyone in. And y'all were fear-mongered to that lie. And now look at what's happening. Your partners, your wives, your girlfriends would have been probably protected if Kamala would have been in office. But no, you wanted to vote alongside and align yourself with racism. And you think the racism is okay to apply to everyone else, but you want your wives, girlfriends, partners to be exempt from that. And it just doesn't work that way. And also, I want to say, even though it's sad, but this is only going to heat up from here. I mean, think about it. We still have a whole 2 years of this left. It's only going to get worse. And I hope this happens to more Trump supporters rather than innocent people who did not vote for this. Because a lot of y'all will have to be taught the lesson the hard way and will have to face the consequences of your vote. More of you Trump supporters are going to find out, because I find it so ironic that y'all are all about, just like Tommy said, all about America first, this and that. We got to keep America as wide as possible. But yet you're marrying and you're being with immigrants who you know don't have like citizenship. Like, you have to make it make sense to me. And it never will. And I want to briefly speak on the man whose brother got taken into, because that also was a hot topic last week as well. And again, it just goes to show you, when some of these immigrants get here, they feel that, and I'm not grouping all immigrants together because I know it's not, but when a lot of these Latino immigrants get here, they feel that once they get that citizenship, they feel like, oh, they're that much close to whiteness. I don't know how many of his relatives are here. I don't know. The story didn't mention it. But if you know you have a brother that I'm assuming you're really close with, and you know he does not have his citizenship, why would you think to vote for the man that is targeting him? And all of your counterparts. You better be lucky that even with your citizenship, you didn't get detained. You're lucky, to be honest with you. Because with your accent, and I hate to bring like accents and again stereotypes into stuff, but this is what ICE is judging off of. But you thought to vote for yourself to try to assimilate and be closer to whiteness. You thought, oh, my brother's going to be saved. There's no way they're going to get my brother. And look at what happened. You might not ever see your brother again. A lot of families haven't seen their family members probably in months or over a year. It just will never make sense to me. It never will. Like, I just don't understand why immigrants, especially immigrants of color, voted for this man. You know, they've been bamboozled in a way, not really, because Trump told them what he was going to do. They just didn't think that it would hit that close to home. Definitely let me know what you think about this down below. Sorry about all my yapping, but, you know, I had to get caught up with you guys. Sorry for missing out last week, but I want to know what you guys think about all of these stories down below. And if you'd like to consider subscribing, that would be also a great help, and liking the video. That all helps to get these videos pushed out to more people, which could only help a lot of these FAFO stories get seen by more and more people, so that they could be aware that these people that voted for this are getting the short end of the stick now too. And don't we love to see that? I know I do. Anyway, you guys, that's all I have for today. And I am going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.